Hi Sadiq, I have this for you.
Oh wow!
Amazing trophy.
Yeah,
Did
it's
you
nice.
expect it?
Well, probably honestly yes, because the goal I scored against Osasuna, I would say is one of the best. So
Are you gonna put it in a very special place in your house?
of course I will. It's from La Liga, so.
Alright guys, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome back again to Naijafoottv, where we talk about Nigerian Super Eagles, our players and everything in between. So as you've just seen from the intro video, Umar Sadiq has now received officially his award for scoring the best goal of the month for the month of February. And of course it was a well deserved award, because that goal was really fantastic. We talked about it here, a back heel flick that resulted into a very important goal, especially for that game because it was a 9-minute goal. They were losing 3-2. Umar Sadiq, showed up and scored that goal just at the very end of it. But it wasn't just the goal that he scored on that day. He actually scored 2 goals as Valencia played at a 3-3 draw against Osasuna. But it's good to see that the man gets a reward for scoring such a fantastic goal. And to be honest, I don't see why we cannot be utilizing this Umar Sadiq for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. He seems to have, come down to earth, in terms of character, because obviously what the issue that a lot of us have with Umar Sadiq, a lot of Nigerian fans have is question about his character, question about his humility, his humbleness to actually listen to instruction and play football without having some sort of character or temperament issues. But again, from the last time he showed up in camp, he didn't cause any issue whatsoever. He was very humble and played to instruction, even though he wasn't really utilized as much. But great one for him. Congrats, and we hope that he keeps pushing and keeps performing at the top level so that he gets scored up, for future games. But moving away from that, the Super Eagles of Nigeria have now reduced or dropped by one step backward in terms of the FIFA global ranking of football teams, international football teams to be precise. So in the world, Nigeria moved 1 place backward to occupy the 43rd position, which is obviously a regression because back in December we were in the 42nd position. And also in Africa we have also stepped one step backward to be in the 6th position, previously 5th position in December. And this just shows you the state of affairs in the Super Eagles, what has been happening in recent times and how they have affected our position in global rankings and also in African rankings. But despite this ranking, we are still topping the likes of South Africa and Ghana, both in the world and in Africa. So South Africa currently occupies the 10th place in Africa and then 56th in the world. Ghana occupying 14th in Africa and 76th in the world. But obviously we don't care about all of these other countries. What we care about is in ourselves, working in ourselves and winning our games, obviously, because that's what counts. If you don't win your games, if you draw your games, you lose points. If you lose games, you lose points. So definitely these things will not help us to climb up the table. But of course, I'm sure that Coach Eric Chelle is working towards that, he and his management. And speaking of Coach Eric Chelle, he has some really huge blow right now, because one of his trusted defenders is now reported injured. And I'm talking about the likes of Ola Aina. Ola Aina actually suffered an injury over this midweek when Nottingham Forest got a 1-0 victory over Manchester United. Aina was substituted in the 40th minute of that game due to injury, and even though they were very fortunate to have come home with a victory in that game, a 1-goal victory for that game, courtesy of a goal from a former Manchester United player, Elanga. But Ola Aina was unfortunate to have had that injury. As I said, he played for 45 minutes and then was substituted. His coach came after the game to give some updates concerning his injury, how serious it was, and the number of days or weeks or months to actually expect him to be on the sideline. So for his coach, he said, he's going to be out. We are going to miss him. And then, in terms of details about the injury, the coach said Ola Aina will be out for a while due to an injury sustained against Man United. He has already undergone a scan, and it is a problem with his calf. He will be unavailable for a while. It's a big blow to lose him. So that is, what he said. And he also talks about the quality that Ola Aina has and how they are definitely going to miss him. Says his quality, talent, and the routines he has already established with his teammates. We are going to miss him. But from the look of things, Ola Aina is not going to be out for a really long time. I think they are saying it's going to be like three weeks or so, before we see him come back. So definitely that's something to some kind of positive from, because obviously it's not going to be something that keeps him out for a long time. And then moving on, guys, about the national team. Of course, Coach Chelle is currently still trying to move around, scouting the best players, the best quality to fix in the Super Eagles attacking areas, and possibly also in the midfield to kind of help get results for us. But right now his mind is also focused on the international friendlies. I will call it friendlies, but it's actually a competition called the Unity Cup competition. I talked about it here, previously on the channel, where I said that we are going to play England, Jamaica, Ghana, and the likes in that competition. But actually, we won't be playing the English Three Lions, although it's a competition that will be played in the UK, because that's where it's always been played in the history of the Unity Cup competition, because it's specifically designed to be played in UK, where we have a lot of our nationals, a lot of our countrymen who are residing there. Obviously this is a huge part of the reason why the Unity Cup exists in itself, because we have a lot of fan base in UK, so also Jamaica, Ghana and Trinidad. So this competition is going to be played amongst these countries: Ghana, Nigeria, Jamaica, Trinidad, and it's going to start on May 27th. That's next month. And then we'll have Trinidad play against Jamaica, and then Nigeria play against Ghana, which is, though it's a friendly, but it's a friendly competition, let me put it that way. But anytime, any day, Nigeria Ghana is always a fight of a match to watch. It's always very interesting and exciting because of the huge rivalry that we have between these two countries. But of course, Chelle is going to be hoping to get these new players and test them out in this Unity Cup competition coming up in May. If Nigeria wins against Ghana, they will play in the finals on June 1st, against the winners between Trinidad and Tobago versus Jamaica, and then the losers of both legs will play on the May 31st, to play for the third place. So that's what's going to happen. Of course, this Unity Cup has been something that had been going on for a while. I think back in 2004 we actually won this competition, after we beat the likes of I think it was Republic of Ireland, and Bartholomew Ogbeche was one man that he made a name for himself in that competition, scoring 3 goals to help us get the victory. But the most important thing is that it's going to avail Coach Chelle and his team the opportunity to add extra friendly games, to try and test out his plans and strategy. And if you get the likes of Ethan Waneri and some of all of these players to come on board, then obviously he's going to want to test them as well in this competition.